Hello everyone. In the previous class, we were discussing regarding the qPCR. There, I was discussing regarding the how we are going to quantify the process of the PCR by using the in the process of the qPCR. There, we were discussing regarding the detection chemistries which are used in the qPCR. There are mainly two types are there. One is by using the fluorescent dyes, we can able to quantify the process of the PCR, and second by using the fluorophore labeled oligonucleotide probes. These probes it can be used in the quantification of the PCR. And here these are the some of the oligonucleotide probes which can be used in the qPCR for the quantification of the process. And here they are nothing but the primer probes, hydrolysis probes, and the hybridization probes. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about the primer probes. These primer probes are oligonucleotides that combine a primer and a probe in a single molecule. So that means, so here whatever the primers which are used in the PCR, the same primers which can be also going to act as the probe. So here that is the specialty of these primer probes. So that here these primer probes are oligonucleotide primers that combine a primer and a probe in a single molecule. So that here whatever the primer is there which is used in the PCR for the amplification purpose, the same primer itself it is going to act as the probe. Okay, so here how it is going to act as a probe means, so here these primer probes are attached with the fluorescent molecule. So here for these oligonucleotides, so here it will be attached with the fluorescent molecule. So here by doing so we can able to use it for the quantification in the process of the real-time PCR or the qPCR. The fluorescence emitted from primer probes is detected and measured during the denaturation or extension phase of the qPCR, depending on the type of the primer probe used. Okay, and here one type of the example for the primer probe is nothing but the hairpin primer probes. Okay, so here these hairpin primer probes are one of the example for the primer probes. Now we are going to discuss about the hairpin primer probes. Hairpin primer probes are single stranded oligonucleotides with 4 features. Okay, so here these primer probes are having the 4 feature. One of the important feature is nothing but it is having an hairpin secondary structure. So here these primer probes are having the hairpin secondary structure, in which the loop of the structure specifically bind to the target DNA. So here whatever the loop is there in the hairpin structure, that the loop the sequence of the loop is complementary to the target DNA. So here by doing so we can able to detect the target DNA. This probe it contains a short tail sequence of the 6 nucleotides, CG nucleotides at the 5' end of the probe, complementary to the 3' end of the probe. So here in this hairpin primer probe, so here the 5' end of the probe is complementary to the 3' end of the probe. So here in the center it will be having the loop, and here the sequence of the loop in the hairpin primary probe it is complementary to the target DNA. Okay, so here example for the hairpin primer probe includes scorpions, ampliflor, light upon extension. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the scorpion primer probes. Okay, these primer probes are also having the hairpin secondary structure, and here they are having the reporter at the 5' end and the internal quencher at the 3' end. So now we need to understand what exactly the meaning of the reporter and the quencher. Okay, so here the reporter is nothing but the fluorescent molecule which is attached to the primer probes. Okay, so here the reporters are just nothing but the fluorescent molecules which are attached to the primer probes. Okay, so here these reporters they can fluoresce and give the signal. And here the quencher, what is the meaning of the quencher? So here the quencher is nothing but any molecule or any substance, so here which is going to absorb the energy of the energy which is emitted from the reporter, and here it is going to result in the absence of the fluorescent signal. So that here the quencher it is going to absorb the energy of the fluorescence emitted from the reporter molecule, and here it is going to dissipate as the heat. And here by doing so we cannot able to detect the fluorescent signal, because whatever the fluorescence emitted by the reporter, that is going to be absorbed by the quencher, and here By doing so, we cannot able to detect the signal. So that here we need to understand that one. So here the scorpion primer probes are having the hairpin structure, and here they are having the reporter at the 5' end and the quencher at the 3' end. So that here these two, the reporter and the quencher, are present very close to one another. So here we need to remember, whenever the report and the quencher are present very close to one another, means we cannot able to detect the signal. Okay, that we need to remember. And here, apart from that one, the 3' end of the hairpin is attached to the 5' end of the primer by a hexaethylene glycol blocker, which prevents the primer extension by the polymerase. Okay, and here during PCR, scorpion primers are extended to form the amplicon. Okay, so here during the PCR, what will happen is, so here the hairpin secondary structure of the scorpion primers are going to extend and going to form the amplicon. In the annealing phase, what will happen is, the specific probe sequence which is present in the loop of the scorpion primer. So here it is going to curls back to hybridize with the complementary target sequence in the amplicon, thus opening up the hairpin loop. So here what is going to happen is, so here these scorpion primers are extended during the amplicon, and here in the annealing phase what will happen is, so here the some of the sequence which is present in the scorpion primer probe is complementary to the sequence of the target DNA. So that here what will happen is, in the annealing phase, so here this complementary sequence which is present in the scorpion primer probe hybridize with the target sequence, and here thus opening the hairpin structure of the primer probe. So here and here this is going to prevent the fluorescence from being quenched and the signal is absorbed. So here what is going to happen is, so here in the annealing phase, when the scorpion primer probe, which is due to the presence of the complementary sequence to the target DNA, it is going to bind to the target DNA and going to hybridize it. So here whenever it is going to hybridize, its hairpin structure will be lost. Okay, so here due to the loss of the hairpin structure, what will happen is, so here the reporter molecule and the quencher molecules are separated one another, and here now they are far away from one another. So here due to which what will happen means, so here the reporter molecule now they are going to fluoresce, and here the energy of the fluorescent whenever energy which is released from the fluorescent molecule, it cannot be absorbed by the quencher, because they are present far away from one another, because now the primer probe is linearized. In the linearized form, it cannot able to, and the quencher it cannot able to absorb the energy of the fluorescent molecule. And here therefore the scorpion primer probe combines the binding and the detection mechanism in the same molecule and making it an inexpensive system. In scorpion applications, the hairpin structure prevents the formation of primer dimers and non-specific PCR amplification products. So here one of the important aspect and the significance of these probes is, so here the hairpin structure of these probe, it is going to prevent the formation of the primer dimers, which is going to be seen in the regular PCRs, and here that is going to be avoided here, and here it is also going to avoid the non-specific PCR amplification products. Okay, and here it can be these probes, it can be used in a single and multiplex formats for pathogen detection, viral bacterial load quantitation, genotyping, single nucleotide polymorphism, allelic discrimination, and the mutation detection. In all these cases, it can be used. Okay, and now we are going to discuss about the mechanism of the same primer, whatever we discussed earlier. So here these are the scorpion primer probe, and here it is having the hairpin like structure, and here it is the 5' end, and this is the 3' end. So here the 5' end of the probe is complementary to the 3' end of the probe, and here so here in between we will be having the loop. Okay, so here in this structure, so here the reporter and the quencher, so here this is the reporter and this is the quencher. So here in this structure the reporter is present very much closer to the quencher. Okay, so here due to which what will happen is, so here whatever the energy of the reporter it is going to be released, it is going to be absorbed by the quencher, so that here this reporter signal will not be detected in the system. And so here this one we need to understand. So here whenever the reporter and the quencher are present very much closer to one another, so here the quencher going to absorb the energy of the fluorescent molecule of the reporter and going to dissipate as the heat, so that here the fluorescent signal will not be detected in this structure. Okay, at the same time, so here it is also attached with the sequence. So here this sequence, it is complementary to the target DNA. Okay, so here during the PCR, what will happen is, so here from this primer, so here it is going to be extended, okay, and going to synthesize the complementary sequence. So here this sequence will be extended in the PCR process, and here it is going to synthesize as the complementary sequence. So here whatever the complementary sequence which is formed here, this complementary sequence, so here this complementary sequence is complementary to the loop of the probe. So here this complementary sequence which is formed here, this is complementary to the loop of the Scorpion primer probe. So here what will happen is, especially in the annealing phase, so here due to the complementarity between the probe and also the newly synthesized strand, what will happen is, so here this loop, it is going to hybridize us with the newly synthesized strand, and here it is going to linearize us. In the annealing phase, what will happen is, due to the complementarity between the Scorpion primer probe and also the newly synthesized strand, what will happen is in the annealing phase, so here it will bind to the newly synthesized strand, and here this the hairpin structure, now it will be linearized. Okay, yeah, now it will be linearized. So here what is the significance of the linearization of the probe is nothing but this in the linearized form. So here the reporter and the quencher, now they are present far away from one another. Okay, now they are present far away from one another, and here due to which whatever the fluorescent signal which is produced from the reporter, it can be detected, it cannot be absorbed by the quencher. Okay, earlier it used to be absorbed by the quencher, but here due to the linearization, so reporter and the quencher, now they are present far away from one another, and here due to which the fluorescent signal whatever it is emitted, it can be detected in the process of the PCR, and here it is going to be happens in the every cycle in the PCR, and here by doing so we can able to detect and quantify the PCR in the real-time PCR or the qPCR, and here this is regarding the Scorpion probes. Thank you.